Good morning, students. Myself, K. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in the Department of SNH, Chevron Engineering College, title Lasers. Today's topic, components of laser system. So in the production of lasers, we have these components. So what are the components of lasers? So here, these are the three components of laser. One is active medium. Another one is pumping source. Third one is optical resonator or cavity. So this is the block diagram of lasers. So here, what are the three important components are active medium. So active medium means, for example, we have ruby laser. So in ruby laser, ruby is act as a active medium. That means whatever the excitation process takes place and which atoms are involved in the excitation process, or simply those materials are nothing but active medium. So here in ruby laser, actually it is a composition of Al2O3 and Cr2O3 combination. So in ruby laser, chromium atoms are involved in the excitation process. So automatically in ruby laser, active medium is taken as a chromium. So, and the next one is pumping source. So for the excitation process, we have some external energy. So to achieve the population inversion, we need some external energy. That phenomena is nothing but a pumping method. Actually, in the last session, we discussed about the pumping methods, optical pumping method, electric discharge tube pumping method, inelastic collision atom method, like that. So without this pumping, we cannot reach any population inversion case or excitation of atoms. So the second one is pumping source. So this pumping source, that means this energy is used by these atoms in the active medium, and they are participates in a excitation process. After that completion, photons are emitted here, but there is a mirror. So here there is a partially reflecting mirror and there is a totally reflecting mirror. So these totally reflecting mirror and partially reflecting mirror or act as a optical resonator or cavity. So whenever the photons are emitted by the stimulated emission process, these photons are incident on the partially reflecting mirror. So automatically they move back and again they are participates in the reaction. Again, each photon emits 2 photons of energy. But due to partially reflective mirror, again these 2 photons are involved in the reaction again. So due to this continuous process, here we get a high intensity beam of laser light, and this laser light is emitted from the partially reflective mirror like that. So this is the main phenomena in the laser production. So the main important components of lasers are active medium. So active medium is nothing but which material atoms are involved in the excitation process. So that material is nothing but active medium. And pumping source is nothing but external energy for the process of population inversion. And optical resonator totally reflecting mirror and partially reflecting mirror. So actually in initial stage we have less photons are there. So their intensity is very less. Due to less intensity, these laser beams are again reflected to and participates in the reaction. But continuation of this process, the laser, that means that the number of photons are increases. So automatically the intensity of laser beam is increases. Due to this high intensity, these laser lines are transmitted through this partially reflecting mirror. That means initial stage photons having less energy. That's why they reflected from here. But whereas the number of photons are increases, so automatically the intensity of laser is increases. They penetrate through this partially reflecting mirror until the reaction is continuous. That's why this type of reaction is nothing but a lasing action. Already in the last session, we discussed about that. What is the lasing action? Okay. Actually, for 1 photon of energy gives 2 photons of energy. Again, these 2 photons or energy are involved in the reaction. They give 4 photons of energy. But still, these 4 photons of energy having less intensity. So that's why they reflected back and participating again in the reaction and continuously follow this delasing action. We get high intensity beam of light rays and they can easily penetrate through the partially reflecting mirror. So I think all of you understand what I am saying. Okay. Now, this is about the components of laser. So actually, this is very important in a short answers question. Now, these are the 3 important components: active medium, pumping source, optical resonator or cavity. Optical resonator or cavity is nothing but this totally reflective mirror and partially reflective mirror. Actually, here, these photons are come to here, but they cannot penetrate the in this area because it is a totally reflective mirror. That's why again they are involved in the reaction. Okay, but here there is a partially reflective mirror is, so whenever these photons are high intensity, they can penetrate it from this side. Okay, now and next types of lasers, already I explained many times. We have 5 types of lasers, 5 categories. So types of lasers is nothing but basing on what type of material we have to use and what type of laser will be emitted. That means the laser is continuous mode or pulse mode. So here we have 5 types of lasers. Solid state laser, which is also called as ruby laser, or it is also called as a continuous mode laser or 3 energy level system. In exam point of view, they will ask any type. So what are the different names? Once again, I repeat. Solid state laser is also named as ruby laser, 3 energy level laser, and continuous mode laser. Pulse mode laser. Okay. So here they have different names. So solid laser is also called as ruby laser, 3 level laser system, and pulsar laser. These are the different names. Okay. And next one is gas laser, or it is also named as 4 energy level laser or continuous mode laser. And third one is liquid laser, or it is also called dye laser. Fourth one, solid state diode laser. It is called semiconductor laser. And next, excimer laser. Actually, out of these 5 in our syllabus, we have only 2 types of lasers. One is the solid type of laser and gas type of laser. Let us today we discuss about the solid type of laser, that is ruby laser. Very important question in exam point of view. Let us discuss briefly. So ruby laser. Ruby means it is a rod. So it is a solid state. So that's why this type of laser is named as a solid state laser. which was first developed by the scientist T.H. Maimon in 1960. In this Ruby laser, we have to select a 3-level laser system. That's why this laser is named as a 3-level laser system. And Ruby is in the shape of rod, which is in a solid form. So that's why it is called a solid state laser. In this process, a laser of high out power with an order of megawatts, and they emitted in a pulses with a nanosecond duration. That means it is in a pulses mode, pulses form. So that's why it is called pulsed laser. So Ruby laser is in a Ruby is in the form of a rod, so it is in a solid form. So it is called solid state laser. And this we have to take 3 energy level system, and whatever the output of laser is in a pulses mode, so that's why it is called pulsed laser. Then what is Ruby rod? Ruby rod is basically it is a composition of Al2O3 with a percentage of 99.95%, and chromium is 0.05%. But actually, chromium is, even though a less percentage, but the main active medium in this Ruby laser is chromium ion. And wherever Ruby is in a pink color, that's why, that means whatever the rod made with aluminum oxide and chromium oxide is with a color of pink, that means it is in a ruby color. That's why this type of laser is called Ruby laser. Okay, so once again I repeat, Ruby laser is a solid type of laser, and it is also called a 3-level energy system. And whatever the laser emitted in this construction is a pulse mode. Here Ruby is made with Al2O3 99.95% and chromium with 0.05%. Even though chromium is with less percentage, but it is the active medium, and the combination of Al2O3 and chromium is in a pink color. That means it is in a ruby color. So that's why it is called Ruby laser. And here it is the construction. So Ruby crystal is taken in a cylindrical rod. So this is the Ruby crystal. So this is the Ruby rod, which is taken in a cylindrical glass tube. It is taken in a cylindrical glass tube. Okay. Now the length is from 5 to 30 centimeters, and the width is from 3 to 5 mm diameter. Now you observe the ends of the Ruby rod. So one side is fully coated. That means it is a fully reflecting mirror. It acts as a fully reflecting mirror because it is completely silvered. And the other end is act as a partially reflecting end. So here, these fully reflecting mirror and partially reflecting mirror or act as a optical resonator or cavity, whatever we discuss in components of laser. Now, xenon flash lamp is winded around the rod. So now the the glass tube is wounded with a xenon flash tube. That means it is a tube light which is made with xenon material. So it is act as a lamp like material. Now it is glow with the help of a power source. When we on the power here, automatically this xenon flash bulb is glowing. That means here the light is emitted here. So this light is used by whatever the active medium, that means the chromium used for the excitation process and to create the population inversion. That means here light is act as a external energy. That means simply this energy is used for the population inversion process. So this type of pumping method is nothing but optical pumping method. In the last session, we discussed about types of pumping methods. Optical pumping method, which is used in the Roby laser. So optical pumping method is nothing but light is used as an external source of energy for achieving population inversion. So whatever we discussing in the previous classes or the basic definitions for developing the type of lasers, Ruby type of laser. So here the active medium, three components are laser components are, one is active medium, that is chromium, and pumping source, which is in a optical pumping source, that is with the help of xenon flash tube. And there are optical resonator. Optical resonator is nothing but fully reflecting end and partially reflecting end. So now the process is taking place. By power supply is on, the light is emitted by the xenon flash bulb here. Now by using this light, whatever the atoms in the active medium, their excitation processes takes place in, and the photons are emitted here. But when two photons are emitted here in this reaction, but there is a partial reflective mirror, again they involve in the reaction in a lasing chain reaction continuously. Then high intensity laser beam is emitted by this partially reflecting end. So that is the process. So here there is a cooling here because xenon flash bulb emitted a very high energy. In place of excitation, more energy is used for heating up the apparatus. That means the apparatus are, after some time, they burn it. So with the help of coolant, the cooling process is continuously cooling the apparatus. And also here the power supply is also in a pulse mode. That means we can do the experiment by switch on and off purpose. That's why whatever the laser output here is also in a pulse mode. Because here xenon flash lamp gives a large amount of light energy, high intensity flash of white light. So due to that, these apparatus after some time, they can be easily diminished. So that's why the system is continuously cooled with the help of coolants. And also power supply is also giving in a pulse mode. So automatically whatever the laser is here is in a pulse mode. So what is the working of Ruby laser? So already I explained that here the active medium is chromium ions. That means chromium atoms are involved in the excitation process. And pumping source is xenon flash lamp is used as a pumping source. And the resonating cavity or optical resonator, that means when you observe the ends of the Ruby laser, one is fully polished with silver, that is which is act as a fully reflecting mirror, while other one is partially silvered. That means the two ends of the Ruby crystal is act as a optical resonator. That means whatever we have to need to develop a laser, that means what are the components we have to need to develop a laser are clearly here mentioned, that active medium, that is chromium ions, pumping method, that is optical pumping method, resonating cavity, the ends of the Ruby rod, That means one is a fully reflecting mirror and another one is partially reflecting mirror. So all are ready here. Then whatever the process is taking place. So these are the three energy level system. So E1, lower energy level or ground state. E2, that is metastable state. And E3 is a exit state. I already explained that what is exit state and what is metastable state. In exit state, the lifetime of the atoms is very less. So they cannot stay here very long time. That means without giving any extra energy, they can easily jump from E3 energy level to E2 energy level. Still, it emits some photons of energy, but these photons of energy are in a non-radiative. Okay. Now, what is the process taking place here? So the xenon discharge generator high intensity of white light in a few milliseconds. Now the green components of the spectrum wavelength, that is 5,500 angstroms, is absorbed by. That means whatever the white light, it having all the colors. Out of all the colors, chromium atom absorbs green color with a frequency of 5,500 angstroms. Then it jumps from E1 energy level to E3 energy level. Now, E3 energy level is called exit state. But I already explained that in exit state, the lifetime of the atoms is very less. So rapidly, the chromium atoms are lose their energy and they can easily jump from E3 energy level to E2 energy level. Undergoing, but here also emitted some photons of energy, but they are a non-radiative transitions takes place. Whereas E2 is called metastable state. So what is meant by metastable state? That means here the atom's duration, that means atom's lifetime is more as compared with the exit state. They cannot easily jump from E2 energy level to E1 energy level. But when we giving some extra energy here, that means when we giving a 1 photon of energy, and here E2, the number of atoms in the E2 exceeds the E1 level. That means here the population inversion is established between E2 to E1. So by giving some extra energy, then the atoms are jumped from E2 energy level to E1 energy level. So for every 1 photon of energy, they emit 2 photons of energy. So here the photons of energy having high intensity and a high monochromaticity, and the beam is in a red color, having wavelength 6,943 angstroms. So this photon of energy is nothing but lasers. But actually, xenon lamp lasts only for a few milliseconds. That means the laser does not operate throughout this period. So the output of the laser is also in the form of pulses mode. That is one of the demerit of ruby laser. Once again, I repeat the experiment here. So this is the cylinder. This is the cylinder, and it is called ruby rod is there. Okay. So here it is the ruby rod. So ruby rod is made with aluminum oxide and chromium oxide in the ratio 99.95% and chromium in the ratio 0.05%. Even though chromium is very less percentage, but chromium is act as a active medium here. So, and the combination of these two gives a ruby color, that means in a pink color. So that's why this laser is also named as ruby laser. And now the ends of the ruby rod, one is a fully reflecting mirror, that means by polished with silver, by coating with fully coating with silver. So it is act as a fully reflecting mirror, whereas the other end is act as a partially reflecting mirror. Now this cylinder is wounded with a xenon flash tube, that means it is act as a tube light. Now this tube light is connected to a power source. When we on this power source, a flash of light is emitted by the xenon flash here. Now this light is observed by these atoms. So here the active medium is chromium. So now this light is observed by these atoms and they are involving in the excitation process. But whereas xenon is a high intensity flash of white light. So that's why here the apparatus are burnt. There is a chance. So that's why here we continuously supply here the water. So this is the cooling water and enters into the parts, and whatever the parts heat is removed from by the cooling process. And next, in this excitation process, they emit 2 photons of energy here, 2 photons of energy here, but there is a partially reflective mirror. Again, they involve in the reaction. So in a continuation, like a lasing action process is taking place. So finally, we get high intensity laser beam here, and it is penetrated through the partially reflecting mirror. Then what is the excitation process takes place in the chromium atom? That is 3 energy level system. So this is the 3 energy level system. So in 3 energy level system, we have E1 having atoms here. Now, when we power supply is given, then the flashlight gives white light. So among the these all colors, that means white light is a composition of all the colors. So from this white light, the atoms of chromium absorb only green color, that is 5,500 angstroms of wavelength. Now they absorb the energy and they jump from E1 energy level to E3 energy level. But here, the E3 energy level is less lifetime. They can easily jump from E2 level. But here the E2 energy level is E2 energy level is metastable state. So a population inversion case is existed. So automatically there is a transition from E2 to E1. At this condition, a laser light beam is emitted here. So today's session is closed. Thank you to all.